Hi, this is Bethany Marshall with Morgan James Publishing, and today I'm speaking with our author, Rick Bosch. Hi, Rick. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, doing fine.
Awesome. So, Rick is the author of True Freedom, and we're so excited to be releasing the book True Freedom. And it's actually a bit of a unique title because we have both the book, and shortly you're going to meet another author, Landon, who has actually written the workbook to coincide with this book. So readers that want to take the message from this book, True Freedom, to the next level, we're going to get to hear from the author of the workbook here in a few moments as well. So Rick, thanks so much for taking a few moments to talk with me today about the launch of your new book, and congratulations. Um,
Thank you.
the first question I'd love to ask you today is just to kind of take it back to the very basics about why did you write this book?
Well, there are so many people that are struggling today, and they're in need of hope and healing and true freedom. And I felt like my life has really been a journey of ups and downs, and I wanted to write a book that would be honest and transparent about, what I went through and what I have learned. I also wanted to write a book where God was really involved in the process. I know that there's the 12 steps and it talks about, a higher power to help through addictions and things like that. But I found that really without God, there really is no lasting freedom. So the truth is, we can't change in our own strength, because if we could have, of course, we would have. And so we need God's help. And so over the last 16 years, I've been working with people that have really been struggling and have a lot of, different hurts in their lives. And during those years, God has really shown me several things that have been effective in helping myself and also helping others overcome destructive habits and behaviors. So it really starts with, making intentional choices. And I believe that you make certain choices, then we're going to experience true freedom. And so the book is really exactly that. It takes people through a process that I believe will help set them free.
Amazing. So, what would you hope that people will take away after reading your book?
Well, I think the simple answer to that is hope. I really think that we get stuck in patterns and we really don't know how to change. And in fact, we don't know even where to start. And so each chapter in the book really involves a vital choice that we need to make in our journey toward freedom. It also has a lot of action steps, things that we have to do. And so my book is really filled with personal examples of my own struggles, along with the stories of so many other people that I've met over the course of my life. And my desire is that people really take away practical tools that will not just change their behavior, but really change their entire life.
Mhm. Incredible. So, could you talk a little bit about who you would say this book is really for? Who would be the type of person, or where might they be in life where they're going to find tremendous help and value in this book?
Yeah, it's really for anyone that feel stuck, they feel trapped in a destructive behavior, addiction, a habit. And it's really, we each make those choices, and those choices end up making us. Sometimes our choices aren't the best. So we fall into patterns that really trap us and prevent us from moving forward. And so we try to change, but we often end up in the same place that we started. So the book is really for anyone who wants to be free and is willing to look honestly at their past, what brought them to where they are today, and really how to change. It's not just about learning principles. It's really about putting those principles into action.
Mhm. Yeah, amazing. Wow, it seems like it is chock full of really insightful guidance and wisdom, and like you said, practical ways that somebody can, take these lessons and apply them in their lives. Do you happen to have a copy of the book with you? Because I think this is one of the most striking front covers.
Yep, there it is right here. If you can see that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, we're really happy with the cover of the book, and how it came out. And we just appreciate Morgan James so much for helping us in this.
Well, we are so proud of you and so proud of the book and the workbook. And thank you so much, Rick, for taking a few moments with me today to
Yeah.
talk about your message and the heart behind it. And we're so proud to be your publishing partner, and congratulations on your book launch.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
So one final question for you before we transition and start talking with Landon, but where can readers, if somebody wants to learn more about you and about the book today, where can they go to
Yeah.
get more information?
Yeah, the best place is we've developed a web page, and so it's truefreedombook.com. And if you put that in, it'll give you all the information about us, our book, our workbook, everything that we've done so far.
Thank you, Rick, and thanks for releasing this book.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and now I'm speaking with Landon Porter, who's the author of the True Freedom Workbook that builds off of the True Freedom book. So hi, Landon. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Well, hi, Bethany. Thanks for having me today.
I'd love to ask you some questions about the workbook. It's such a beautiful product and it builds so nicely on the book. So we'd love to just talk about what was really your inspiration behind creating this workbook?
Well, thanks. That's a good question. The book did come out very well, by the way. I love the way it looks, the cover and stuff. And this is the partner book to the book by Rick Bosch, True Freedom. And I would say to really go into why we created the workbook was because of our experience working with just a recovery ministry of people who are hurting and really just not sure how to find, true freedom in their life. Instead, they feel stuck. They feel like they're just dealing with the same things over and over, whether it be alcohol, it could be drugs, but it could be dysfunctional relationships, it could be anger. Lots of people have just things go on in their life and they're just struggling. And so we did a ministry together where we had, 500 or 600 people a week coming to us looking for ways to find freedom. And so we found a lot of other, avenues and types of curriculums, but we came up with our own kind of model of what it would take to maybe find some of that freedom in our life. And of course, both being pastors at the church, we think a Christ-centered approach is important. So that's kind of the bottom line kind of premise is we think Christ gives us freedom, but how do we find that? What does it look like in our lives? So we kind of put together a framework or a paradigm of how we can recover from the effects of all these things in our life that have kept us back from being who the people we really truly want to be or who God desires for us to be. So Rick and I together worked on it, came up with 5 choices. Very, I wouldn't say similar, but very much in the vein of 12 steps. But the idea being, we think choices people can kind of grab onto. It's very easy to say, you know what, I can make a choice. We make thousands of choices every day. Do we think about each of these choices and where they're going to lead me and what the effect is of each choice I take? So there's 5 choices we can make that I think can really allow us to experience freedom from these things that we're dealing with in our life.
Amazing. What a powerful resource and tool for people who are really seeking, hope and freedom in their lives. So could you talk a little bit about how your personal experiences have impacted the creation of the workbook?
Yeah, so I personally been involved in the recovery world for myself, trying to recover from some issues and struggles I had back in 2007. So I've been involved for 13 years. And as we were just for personally going through my own kind of recovery process and in groups, I've learned a lot about, I think, what works and what doesn't work and how I want this to be something that helps others. And I personally started to lead groups back in 2008. I was leading groups of men, really trying to overcome problems with sex addiction, pornography, adultery, things like that. And so I just kind of tried things out of what worked, what didn't work. And at the end of the day, I realized, man, the idea of choices really comes into play. I learned I had to make choices every day for myself. And so my own experience with that, like learning in the process of, okay, I need to choose to do this and choose to do this. And if I do that, better things happen. Like if I choose to really wake up and say, I'm going to give my life to Christ today and live for him and not for me, that changes things, right? If I say, you know what, I need to take ownership of what I've done and be able to say, I understand what I've done. I can take ownership of it, understand it, and not be in the guilt and shame, but instead be free to say, I'm going to live forward, not live in my past. That's a choice I can make. And there's thousands of these along the way. We tried to identify 5 of them that we can put action steps to, that really the things that I've done in my own life. Like I've done all of these choices. I realized they work, and they've worked for a lot of other men and women that we've worked with. And so in the end, that became the inspiration to really say my personal story is put into this book. The things that I've gone through, the questions I asked myself, the questions that we had to kind of work through, taking the inventory of my life, all of that are things that I've done. And I think it shows that it's really good stuff to kind of make you think back and really grasp onto new ideas and to make better choices going forward. One of the things I will say is my design of the workbook can be used individually, but is designed to be done in a group environment. Because I think doing this is so much better when you're doing it in community with other people. I can make choices on my own every day, but without someone, asking me, hey, did you make that choice or not? Then I can sometimes stray, right? If I'm the only one making choices in a echo chamber, I may not make the best choices. So being in a group where I can bounce ideas off people and help them to make better choices helps me make better choices, and then they can help me make better choices. So I can help them make better choices. There's a dynamic in that idea of being in community and being in a group that really does bring it to life. And for us, it shows out to be something that's very powerful in people's lives. I believe a lot of this is done relationally. Like we learn individually, but we need to be able to live it out in relationships. So it's designed to be in a group. So there's a part in the book at the beginning where it talks about how to really work through the group environment, the group kind of format, what it looks like to ask the right kinds of questions, how we share what we've learned, and how we can be there for each other. I mean, one of the big things for people who are just struggling is to have support. And so in my own life, I wanted to be a support for other people, and this book gives you a place to be able to do that. And so hopefully they can grab it, read the book by Rick, go through the workbook with some other friends, and really experience freedom.
Wow, Landon, thank you so much, and for being vulnerable and willing to share your own journey. And when you've walked through a journey and you've lived that experience, it just equips you in a different way to help lead other people through their own journey. So we're so proud of you and so proud of this workbook. And I guess one final question I have for you is, what are you really hoping that people will learn and walk away with once they've gone through the experience of going through the workbook?
Well, I think the thing that's going to probably, be the biggest goal at the end is people to understand that there's hope, that I can live differently, that I don't have to live the way I've been living, that I'm not destined to repeat the same behaviors over and over. I can make choices differently. So I'm hoping by the end of working through this, they can realize that Christ in me will help me to really make those right choices, to continue to work on myself and to grow. And then at the end of it, be able to say, hey, if I've experienced freedom and it's a great experience, how can I help other people go through it as well? Like once you've, like you said, once you've been through something and you've got a taste of it, you just want to share it with people. And that's kind of my inspiration behind the book, was I want to share it with people. I want them to get to the end and go, man, I love living this life of freedom. I love Christ being at the center of all that I do. I love to live this life in community with other people. And I want other people to experience this as well. So hopefully they experience the hope, freedom, and then they in turn want to turn around and help other people as well.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, congratulations on the release of this workbook. Now, if people want to get in touch with you and Rick, or they want to learn more about you or about the workbook, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
So I would say go to our website, which is truefreedombook.com. Just truefreedombook.com. You can pick up a copy there. We have blogs on there and stuff. We've also got a lot of information on how we come out and help churches or help people out. We do, consulting, coaching. We can do some speaking engagements as well. So that's probably the most comprehensive place. We're also on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, look up for True Freedom Book there as well. And then if you have any questions or anything, you can email me at landon@truefreedombook.com, and I'll be able to help you in any way possible.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Landon, for spending a few minutes talking with me today about the workbook. And again, we're so proud of it, and congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Bethany.